Good morning, guys. Today's video is sponsored by Genesis 360 Photo Booth. The 360 Photo Booth platform accommodates up to 4 adults access to your videos immediately. And the phone number, if you want to book the photo booth, Genesis 360's photo booth is 830-255-0549. That's 830-255-0549. That's Genesis 360 photo booth. It's my niece. Okay. Let's help her out. This is for her funds, her student. She's very young still, but she is going to college eventually, God willing. So this will help her out. Today I want to read to you a story about the Maccabees, the Hanukkah story. Merry Christmas to those that celebrate Christmas, and Happy Hanukkah to those that celebrate Hanukkah, like myself. I celebrate Hanukkah. Today is the first day of Hanukkah. So for us, I don't know for Israel. I think it could have started yesterday. I'm not sure on that. The story I'm about to tell you, it's in the version of the Catholic Bible. It's not in the King James, but it is in the version of the Catholic Bible. I don't know if there's any other ones. This story is a wonderful story, and how Hanukkah came to be. This happened 133 years before Jesus Christ. I think either 300 or 133. I'm sorry. I'm trying to go back on the movie that we made back in 2010. We made this movie here in Carrizo, the church that I was going to, and it was beautiful. We worked on it very hard for 4 months. It would have been shorter, but I got a cut in my hand, and we ended up making this movie. It was wonderful. It was our first movie. We had really, really bad cameras at the time. SD cards were just coming out into, so it took us a while to film it and put it together. We wrote our own music. We wrote our own script. We used our own equipment. It was just a wonderful, wonderful time that we shot it. We ended up with a stack of SD cards about that big, and had 34 minutes of film, a short film. And that's just the way it usually works. You add and add and add, and when you break it down, it ends up, a very short script, a very short film. Because these things take hours and months to shoot. Take it from experience from my shoots. Okay. Anyway, I'm about to read the story, okay, of Hanukkah. And in between, I'll give you some of the history that I do know. Okay, so here we go. The Brave Maccabees, a Hanukkah story. Once upon a time, in ancient Judah, the land was under the rule of a powerful king named Antiochus Epiphanes. Now, Antiochus was a general from Alexander the Great. And he took over Israel, and he made himself a king there. He wanted everyone to follow his ways, which was Greek, and forget their own traditions. But the Jewish people loved their custom and their faith. Now, you're not going to change a Jewish person for anything, Drink Zivia, healthier. Now, the Jewish people, they're difficult to change. That they're set on what God gave them, and that's it. They're not going to move from there. Among them were a brave family known as the Maccabees, led by their father named Mattathias. Mattathias he was good. He was awesome. And his 5 sons, Judah, Simon, Eleazar, Jonathan, and John. All English names. I don't think Eleazar's. I actually played Eleazar in the short film, and I was murdered by a soldier. They stood strong against the king's soldiers, which was Antiochus. They believed in their right to worship freely and keep their traditions alive. They want to worship. The Jews wanted to worship God, the true God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Antiochus came in and saying, you're going to worship me. I'm the creator of everything. So anyway, one day when Mattathias saw a Jewish man obey the king's orders to worship false gods, he became very upset. He bravely stepped forward and declared, "We will not abandon our faith. We will fight for our freedom." Inspired by their God's courage, his sons joined him, and together they vowed to protect their people. Now, there were 10,000 Jewish guys, 10,000 Jews fighting. I hope it doesn't say it because I'm going to tell you. They were fighting 60,000 Greeks. Man, can you imagine? That's 5 times bigger than, 5 times bigger. A football team. The Maccabees gathered a small group of brave fighters and began to challenge the king's mighty army. Yeah, they were mighty. They were big. They had swords. They had all sorts of weapons. And of course, the Maccabees, which were the group's called, okay, the 10,000 Maccabees, with pitchforks and whatever they had, It says, where am I? They faced many battles, but their hearts were filled with courage and faith. With clever strategies, and not an unyearning spirit, they won against the odds. They won. Can you believe that? They won. Let me tell you what happened, a little bit what happened before, because this is just a children's story I'm telling you in the basic. But Antiochus, when he went in, man, he went in there, into, I think the name of the town was Moadim. He went in there and he destroyed people that said, I'm not going to be Greek. I'm not turning Greek. I'm not going to get, my circumcision reversed. They were doing it. Some were doing it. Some were some Jews were going along with the plan. That's why Mattathias got upset. As a matter of fact, I believe he killed a soldier, 2 soldiers. That soldier that was ordering that Jewish man. So anyway, Antiochus had women that would not turn to Greek carry their babies like a necklace, dead. Okay, dead, carrying. The story says that a mother of 7 children, were boiled. The children were boiled in hot oil. And the kids went willingly. And each one looked at their mother and said, "Don't turn, Mom. Don't turn. We are going willingly to this, whatever you call it, kettle, I guess." And they willingly got fried and they did not change for anything. I mean, man, you want to talk about a race, man, that is proud? The Jewish people, 100%. All right. After many struggles, the Maccabees achieved a great victory, reclaimed their scattered temple in Jerusalem. Yeah, Antiochus was killing pigs and covering their temples with blood from a pig and making Jews eat pork. Jews don't eat pork because it's unclean. So this guy was a bad dude. He was a bad dude and he was mean as heck. But they straightened him out. They came back. The Jews came back and cleaned it and prepared the light to light the menorah. The menorah is this is a Chanukkah. Okay, the menorah has 9 candlesticks. This is 7. Okay. A special lamp that symbolizes hope and faith. However, they found only one amount of oil. They found a cruse of oil. Okay. At the time, they didn't have the 9 candelier. It was a 7. Excuse me. Okay. It was a 7, but one was added, and I'll explain to you in a second. Okay. They only had one cruse to fill up one day. Okay. So the oil, let me make sure it's in here. Okay, so they only had enough to fill up for one day. Okay, one day. And the menorah burned, the candlelights burned for 8 days. Hanukkah is 8 days. Okay, so that's why one's added. Now the middle one was left there. Okay, so actually 2. So to make it 9. Okay. The middle one, I don't know. I know they call it the servant candle. I don't know how it's called, what it's called in Hebrew. But you lift up the servant candle on the 8th one, on the 8th menorah, and you light 1 per day. Okay, that's how it's done now. Then the candles were burning for 8 days. They burned for 7 or 8 days, okay? Which was a miracle itself, okay? On top of, 10,000 Jews fighting 60,000 and winning, okay? So there's some miracles there. Was God present? Yes, God was present. Where am I? Okay. However, they found only a small amount of oil, enough to last just one day. But that that lit the menorah anyway, trusting their faith. Miraculously, the oil lasted for 8 days. I was right, allowing them time to prepare more oil. This miracle reminds everyone of God's presence and blessings. Yeah, God was present. To celebrate, the Jewish people established the festival of Hanukkah, which is celebrated for 8 days every year. Hanukkah means the day of lights, festival of lights. We light up. Okay. From that day on, the bravery of the Maccabees became a symbol of hope and strength for all. That is almost starting at the beginning of the year for us here, as Americans. But it is a strength of hope and strength for all of us, and it should be a sign of hope and strength for you too. I'm not saying to convert. I'm not saying to do anything. I'm saying it just should be the time. Remember the time. It says, where am I? God, celebrating. Okay, Celebrate. Oh yeah. From that day on, the bravery of the Maccabees can be okay. I already read that part. They taught their people that faith and courage could overcome any challenges, and their story is remembrance and celebrated to this day. We do celebrate the Maccabees' victory, Hanukkah, and so every Hanukkah family lights their menorah, telling the story of the brave Maccabees and the miracles of the oil, sharing love, joy, and the importance of standing up for what is right. Isn't that American as well? To stand up for what is right? Don't we do that now? Aren't we doing that now, standing up for what is right? That was the end of the story, though. But it's very inspiring to me. If you have a chance and you have a book, a Bible that is, well, the only one that I know that this story came from was the book of the Catholic version. And it's such a beautiful story if you have a chance to read it, okay? And you know, for those that believe in Hanukkah, and you don't have to believe in Hanukkah, just have faith and remember the courage and the strength and, you know, the unification of a people. Unite people, family, unite. This is not the time for argument, not the time to hate anybody, especially now that we're, you know, those that are feeling that Yeshua is coming fast, Jesus is coming fast. He's right around the corner, you know. There's no reason to hate family. I hate no one. Even if those that don't talk to me and don't want to talk to me, I don't hate them. I don't. You know, I know forgiveness, and God put it in me. You know, and if you forgive me, you don't want to talk to me, fine. That's your problem. You know, I'm not trying to make an argument here. I'm just trying to understand people, you know, people that hate, people that don't, just people that hate, and they have hate in their heart and pretend that they don't hate, but they do hate, you know. You know, I don't hate anybody. You know, you come here now, let you in and talk to me. You can come back here and have a conversation with me on the podcast. But on these days, let's not remember the true reason for the season is family. Okay? The true reason for the season is family and love. God bless you guys. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah to those for the next 8 days.